Hey, it's CoinTech. So today we're looking at my chia farm. I've been getting some questions about the chia farm when I showed it a little bit live on stream, and I posted a few updates on Twitter. So if you want to see more on it there, you can check it out. I'm ZN Solo 101 on pretty much every platform, over on Twitter, over on Twitch. But I was getting some questions on how to set it up, so I'll be covering over how to mine chia. Let's just jump right into it here. In this video, I will just only be covering the basics, and it'll just be to get you started and get you going. So I'm definitely going to be trying to keep it as simple as possible. I'll be using Windows, only the GUI, no command, no scripts, no bats, nothing special, no code or anything like that. But I will be covering it a little bit later in more advanced videos with a little bit more detail. Maybe at a later date, not right now. I'm just going to show just the basics to get started. Now to get started mining Chia, there is a few things that we need and a few steps that we're going to need to do just for this here to get started. You will need some hard drive spaces. I suggest 1 terabyte SSD or better for caching on, and at least 1 terabyte or better for a hard drive to put your plots on. Any old hard drive will work as long as the plot will fit on it. So I'm testing out this BX500 solid state drive from Crucial. I'm doing a little bit of testing on it. I'm going to see how long it lasts. I got myself a 12 terabyte in there, a server hard drive, and a couple just other ones that I'm running a few other coins on. I do hard drive mine a few other things besides Chia. Anything that comes out, I try and hop on it with a hard drive or so. Do keep in mind to not download every wallet until it's secure. Make sure that you give it a little bit of time. But in this example, in this here build, I'll just be going with the single terabyte drive, and it's just the generic SSD that I got on the back here for the caching drive. So this here, right here, is the drive I'll be using, and like I said, I'll just be testing it. So if you do want to see how that goes and how long it takes me to kill it chia farming, you'll definitely stay tuned to see more on that. I'll definitely be making sure I make updates on the day it dies, and I'll be reviewing the Crucial drive to see how good it lasts up for the chia mining. I heard it eats them, so I'm kind of excited to see how long it lasts. I do suggest getting a better quality SSD than what I'm using. This one here is just kind of a test just to see if the generic ones kind of just price performance, like if you're using a super expensive one and it dies just only a few more writes, are you really saving money? And that's kind of what I'm testing. I'm just seeing what it costs. But this here is going to be a community build. I haven't gotten a name for it. I'm actually just waiting. I'm going to stream and ask some people, and we're gonna name it together, and we're just gonna watch it. I'm gonna do multiple videos on it, and I'm definitely gonna be showing it on my live feed a few times, so it definitely might be something worth checking out. But that's it here. I just wanted to make sure that I show my rig. It's just a basic PC. It's just got 2 SSDs in it. One's the operating system, one's the cache drive, and I've got just a single terabyte, 12 terabyte hard drive that I'm gonna be using. That's it for the build. Let's jump over to the PC. Now that we got the hardware sorted that we're going to need, now we're going to need to have a wallet, plotter, and a farmer. So let's jump over to chia.net and download the farmer. It will give you the plotter, the wallet, and the farmer all in one. So this is great. This makes it super easy to work with. So let's just jump over to Chia. Once this here page loads up, we're just going to jump over to the downloads. And on this here page, we want to make sure that we download the latest version for Windows. So we're just going to click the download on that. And over here, we're going to scroll down. And this here is missed quite often. The Chia network is very large in size now that it's been going for a few years. And the database actually takes a very long time to sync from the node. So while we're here, make sure to click the torrent download as well, just to make sure that we have the database. This is going to save you. It took me 5 days to sync the database without this here, so definitely keep that in mind. Download the database while we're here. This does take a torrent loader to download as well, so if you don't have one of those, one of the one that's suggested is transmissionbt.com. So transmissionbt.com. This here is just a little torrent loader. This is the one that was suggested. While you're here, you might as well click the download for the stable version as well, and we want the one for Windows 64-bit. And I'll make sure to leave links to everything down in the description below. So everything that you're going to need, I'll make sure to leave in the description. The BitTorrent, the Chia link to the exact spot. Okay, well that there's downloading. We're just going to open up Transmission. And this is just going to install like any other application. We're just going to click Next. Accept the terms and agreements. Click Next. We only want the top one, the Qt client. We don't want any of the rest of the stuff. Click Next and install. While that's installing, we can go in here and we can click the Chia Setup EXE. This is just going to bring you through a setup for your wallet for the first time. And this is going to have, like I said, everything's built in. We want it just for us. Click Next and install. Okay, the transmission here came up with the notification. Just click Yes and click Finish. Now we can just click over in the start menu and type in transmission. It should come up fairly quickly. You can just type in transmission, it should just pop up, and we're going to open it. It's going to be a little weird looking, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to definitely do what we need to do. The install is complete, so we can click next, and we can launch Chia. We're going to click finish. While that's loading up, we're going to jump over to our downloads, and we're just going to open our downloads page. From here, the torrent that you downloaded, the 2023 update for the Chia client database should be the .gz.torrent. We're just going to drag this here over into the torrent loader and click open. It should just say this here information, 68 gigabytes. It's going to expand to 101 or 104 gigabytes. So definitely make sure that you have enough space on your operating system for this. I find a 200 gigabyte drive not quite big enough these days. I have 37 gigabytes free on my drive. So that's something to keep in mind. You may want a 500, 480 gigabyte drive as your operating system just to have Chia on. If you're running Windows, it's a lot less if you're running Ubuntu or some other operating system, but on Windows, you are going to need to make sure that you have a little extra space. So I definitely suggest your operating system being a 480 gig hard drive or SSD or up. We're just going to click open, and that's going to download. So we're just going to set up our wallet while that's downloading. We can give this here a close. Now the first thing it's going to ask you, Chia, select your client. You don't want just the wallet. You want to be able to mine. You want to be able to plot. You want to make sure that you go to the recommended one, the farming mode, and click farming mode. This is going to give you like a Windows Defender firewall block. We're going to click allow access. And in this here next here spot, you'll be able to add your wallet. So if you already have Chia setups from some other time previous in the past, or you already have a wallet and you're setting it up, you can just add your key in here by clicking add wallet, importing the existing wallet, or you can create a new wallet. So for us, it says open a world of possibilities. We're just going to click create a new wallet. Now, this is going to give you a passphrase. This is something that you need to, don't take a screenshot of this. Don't take a picture with your phone. Don't go grab a piece of paper, write all this here down, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure you write it all down and put it someplace safe. If you lose this here information, you actually lose all of the Chia that you earn or put in this here wallet. Don't take a picture of it, or someone else that finds that picture can access it. Don't leave it online. Don't store it online. Just deleting this. I'm going to just delete this here wallet when I'm done. This isn't my main wallet. This is for the example, but make sure that you take multiple backups of this here. I don't suggest, like I said, don't leave screenshots sitting around. Write it actually down on a piece of paper. Put it someplace safe. I usually have a folder or something set up for, I would just write Chia on it, throw the piece of paper in it. You're good. Throw it in a filing cabinet somewhere out of the way. There's lots of other options too, but I definitely wouldn't leave it online for other people to get. So that's a little disclaimer. That being said, just click next. You can name your wallet as well. We're just going to call this one here testing and click next. Okay, now once we're in here, there's going to be a few things that are going to happen. This is everything that you need, but we do have to wait for the full node to sync. So down here, the full node, this takes forever to sync. Now that it's been around for a few years, this here is really large, and we're going to download this here directly over here. This is going to take a few minutes. What I suggest doing now is just actually closing Chia. Just close the wallet now that you've loaded it up your first time. And we're going to wait for this here download to go. We're just going to wait for this here download, and I'll be back with you in a little bit. If any pop-ups come up for your firewalls, definitely make sure to click allow. If any of those come up that you don't click allow on, it will prevent you from downloading the noding stuff. But this here's just going to take an hour or two to download. It is fairly big, depending on your internet speed. We're just going to leave this here download, and I'll be back with you in a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now that it's done, we are going to need to unzip this here. It is a pretty big file, like I said before, so this is going to take a little bit of time. But all we're going to need to do is go over to where it was downloaded. It'll be in the place that the torrent came from, and it'll have a tar.gz. All we're going to need to do is extract that. For me, I use 7-zip, so I definitely suggest 7-zip. I'll leave a link to that in the description below if anyone needs that. We're just going to use 7-zip and extract here. This is going to take a few minutes, so again, I'll just be back in a second. Okay, once it's done extracting, we're just going to give this here a close. We're going to just close it down so that we can load it up here later. And we're going to extract it one more time. It's in a TAR file, so we have to extract it again to get the blockchain, and there should be 2 other files with it as well. While this is extracting, we're going to go to the file location where we're going to need to paste them. So I'm just going to open up my C drive. I'm going to go to users. I'm going to go to my name, and there's going to be Chia and Chia key here. We're going to go to Chia mainnet, And down through here, we're going to see the DB. This is the database. So it's not very big right now. We're just going to click on here, and it shows that we only have this one here, this here one here. That's because we haven't connected and it hasn't done the update yet. I am having a little bit of issue on this here computer. I think it's because I'm on a private network. But that aside, if you do happen to run into any problems, the community is great and you should be able to get some help over there. Okay, and the 3 files may be anywhere through your downloads. I'm just going to drag them over. And now from here, we're just going to have to delete this one here and rename this one here the exact same. So all we'll have to do is delete this here one dot, the 2023-06-30. So we'll click delete. And then we're going to rename this one here by slow clicking on it twice. And then just deleting it to that dot. So there we go. If you do make a mistake in this here, you can rename it. So I wouldn't worry too much. Just make sure that when you are pasting over this here information that you name it correctly, or it will take you more than one try. After that, you should be able to you can close all this here down. We don't need this anymore. And from here, we can just relaunch the client. Okay, it shows that we have synced a little bit here. We're still not in sync. There's still a few blocks to go. This is going to still take me about a half a day because the update I downloaded was 2 months old. You may be able to get a newer one with your download, but this here will take a little while to sync up. While this here is going though, you will be able to make plots as well while you're waiting, and you'll be able to join a pool. So what we're going to do right now is join a pool. We're going to go all the way down to a pool. We are going to want a pool mine. Unless you're just solo mining. I guess if you're solo mining, you can skip this here process. But I definitely suggest joining a pool if you only have just a little bit of space. So for us, we're just going to search for Chia Pool. We can click on the Chia Pool status here. And we're going to go to flexpool.io. And from here, it's just going to load up. It's going to give us a few options. We can just click to get started. And then we can click on the Chia here. This is going to load us down to what we're going to need to copy paste and what we're going to need to get started. So we can view the Chia CLI guide, and we'll be able to just copy this here link right here. Pick the one that's best for you. And join pool. Okay, it says that we're going to need a little bit of XCH from the faucet. So when we click that button, it's going to lead us over to the faucet. We can just copy our address here, go over to the faucet. Make sure that you say you're not a robot and just select the motorcycle. Once it's done, it'll be sent, and then you'll be on your way to getting a little bit from the faucet here. It should only take a few minutes to show up in your balance. You may have to reload it a little bit here. On God. All right. Well, I had to mess with my connection just a tiny little bit to get it going there, but it looks like it's good to go now. What I had to do was I had to disconnect my Wi-Fi and plug in my router to a different spot before it would start syncing. I turned off all of my security settings, so Windows Defender is pretty much turned off. So if you run into any problems, try turning off Windows Defender. It might be just something in there that's actually messing with it. I'll know when I turn it back on if it's actually the issue or if I was just having connection problems due to my Wi-Fi. So that's something to think about. Your Wi-Fi might not have an open port of 84444. So disconnect it. I literally had to disconnect it manually, by going in and opening it up and so I had to unplug my Ethernet and then turn my Wi-Fi off completely. But after that's all done, you should be able to see that you have a little bit. I think your wallet should have received some monies now that it's synced up here. All right, we'll just make sure that we do our faucet again just to make sure that it's going. Give that a close. So you might have to wait quite a while before you'll actually get some Chia to be able to do this. That's another thing I didn't really think about. So we're gonna have to wait a little while for that there to show up into the wallet after we fix the wallet. Okay, yeah. So what we're gonna have to do is just wait for that faucet to come in. I'll have to get back with you guys in a moment. Okay, after quite a bit of waiting, we received our small bit of XCH here. That did take quite a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but keep that in mind. It might take a little while, so you'll have to wait around for that to hit your wallet. But once that hits your wallet, now we can go to the pool and we can create a pool. We'll just move this here over here. And all we're going to need for this here is to click connect pool. And then we're just going to need to copy paste the one that's best suited for you. So for me, this is going to be the United States. It's the closest one. I live in Canada, so this is going to be super easy. You can look over to verify the pool details, and you don't have to put anything in here at all. I think the minimal fee is 0.0000001. But if I think we leave it blank, it'll just take a little bit of time. We're going to click create and see how it goes anyways. All this here can be done before the full node is fully synced. So there's quite a few things you can do here. You can create your pool, and we're going to create a plot, and then we have to wait to start farming. They do start farming automatically. So once you create the pool and then you make all the plots to the pool, they'll farm automatically first thing that it's fully synced up. So that's one of the convenient things about it. You can get started quite a bit earlier. As long as you have the pool added and the pots correctly set to that pool, you should be good. We're just going to give this here a close. And this here might take a few more minutes while it's waiting for the transition to be confirmed. This could take anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes because we used the free. We didn't actually spend anything, I don't think. So it used so it only used, we had 9, all those zeros and a 9. So it used that little tiny bit. That's perfectly fine. And there we go. It's connected now. Once you see it showing up like that, you're good to go. Now all you'll need to do is head over to the plots. This is the next stage. So after that they're set up, you have everything, your token, your wallet, everything's kind of set up. Your node's still going to be syncing. Now we can just set up the plots. This is going to be super easy. We can just add a plot. Now, I'm not going to cover a lot of detail on the different ones. There's a few different plotters in here. If you have more RAM, you can use the blade plotter. And if you want to do a little bit of research, the Mad Max plotter works really good in the CLI or the command prompt. But like I said for this here video, you can use this one here and see if it's faster than the Chia proof of space. But I'm just going to use the stock one just for ease of use for this here video. I might cover the Mad Max plotter later on in the video. But we're just going to leave this plotter as stock. And we're going to leave the plot size as stock at K32. Now this here is going to use 232 gigabytes of space on this one here, or 239 gigabytes of space when completed. We're only going to do one plot. Now you can do more than one plot. If you're going to do them in a queue, you can set however many your hard drive is. Just remember to keep in mind you have to account for your hard drive space, so don't overplot or it'll fail on a plot. So we're going to keep it simple. Like I said, this one here we're going to do one at a time. There's advanced options here. We're just going to leave all this here blank. You don't need to worry about that unless you're mining to someone else. Now there's a temporary location. I suggest using the 1 terabyte SSD that I talked about at the very first of it. So what we're going to do is go through here and select our SSD. So the final destination is where you want your plots to be. So you're going to set this one here to the hard drive that you want all your plots to kind of be on. So for this one here, we're just going to pick any other hard drive. And for me, I have 2 directories, one for cache and one for plots. Again, I suggest using different file locations. You want to use the SSD for just your cache. In this example, I'm using the SSD for my cache and my plot because I'm just showing you how to do it. I have a full machine to do this. This is my work computer. I usually don't do anything on this. Same as it's on a separate network. You'll want to make sure that you set that to the correct hard drive. You do not want it to set it to the same hard drive as your temporary directory. Just keep that in mind. This should be something else. I should have a better example set up, but I don't. Just remember, this one here is any other hard drive. I can actually, you know what? Okay. So this one here is the cache, and this one here is just our normal hard drive. Now in the plots, we're going to select in the drop-down menu and select the new pool that we added. This is going to have the pool that you added, and that's really it. From here, like I said, you can plot more than one at a time. You don't have to just do one. I'm just doing one for the example. I would suggest putting 3 or 4 if you're doing them in a queue. If you have any more than a 1 terabyte hard drive, of 1 terabyte I think will hold 4. But just do the math. There's a few calculators online, and just click create after that, and you should be good. It's going to come up and say plotting, and now you just pretty much have to wait for this here plotting process to be done. And this is a 2-step process. It's going to build the plot on the SSD, and then it's going to move it after verifying it over to the hard drive where your plot farm will actually be. But that's it. You're up and mining. You're on a pool. You can solo mine as well if you want to. You don't have to add it to a pool. Any that you don't add to a pool will automatically be solo mining. So if you do happen to make a mistake, unfortunately, there's no way to add them to the pool if you create them the wrong way. So if you're in here and you're creating one, if you forget to use this here drop down menu and click none, this here plot will only ever mine solo, and you will not be able to change it. You will have to delete the plot and then replot. So make sure that you're mindful when you're going down through this here. Double check all your settings, and the most important setting is the number 6. If you're plotting to a pool, make sure that you have your NFT selected. I just wanted to make sure I gave that as a quick reminder at the end. That's really the only thing you need to remember. And then after that, just click plot and it'll start plotting. You'll be able to check your progress as you go. And this here will take a long time. Even if you have a really fast SSD, each plot's definitely going to take probably about 7 hours, give or take a little bit or longer. If you don't have an SSD, it could take even longer than that, again, by a day or more. But that's it. This here should get you up and going for just if you're just starting to mine Chia and this is your first time. That's just a look at the GUI. There's lots of other ways to optimize it using the CLI or command prompt. And there's a lot of things to look into for the plotter, like the Mad Max plotter. That is definitely something. If you're looking for another video after this one here, I would definitely take a look into Google search how to use Mad Max and learn how to use the command prompt for Chia, because it's actually very powerful and you can get quite a bit more speed out of your plots. So if you have a lot of hard drives and you want to go fast, I would definitely, after this here example and you get your one plot going, I would research that next if you have any more than a 12 terabyte hard drive, because it's going to take you a few days to do that much. And if you have more than that, it would definitely be worth your time looking into. So that'd be something I would check out on Google and just watch a few videos on how to set up the Mad Max. There's lots of ways to use it on Windows, but that's it for this one here. That should get you going. If you think I forgot or left something out, definitely leave it in the comments below. And if you like or found the video helpful, hit the thumbs up and get subscribed for more content. Thanks for watching.